Whew. What's up, guys? It's the Four Horsemen Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Josh Romine. With me tonight, I got Alex Deviney Stoner. How are you, Alex?
Hey!
Glad to have you, buddy. And we also got Joshua Van Cleef. How are you, Van Cleef?
I am fired up. Tomorrow is the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, I know. I actually went to go set it up to record because I have to work late tomorrow night and forgot that I canceled my cable. So, yeah. So, Alex, I'm
should have gotten
put
yourself
him
a
on
Fire Stick.
Yeah,
See,
there you go.
That is one thing that I want to figure out. I bet there's some way for me to broadcast through it. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's got to be a way that I can take a feed and upload it. I don't know.
We got figured out. I'll figure it out. I'll probably watch it. They'll replay it on the NFL channel, or they'll do something. I'll be able to watch it. But anyways, Brent is not with us tonight. He had some prior engagements, so it's just gonna be the three of us. We're gonna play a little game, the Who Am I game that we kind of previewed last week, and I gave away mine as examples and forgot to do new ones. So we will be blessed to have Josh and Alex both give us theirs. Before we get into that, though, I want you guys to follow us on Twitter. Get on there right now. It's at the number 4 Horseman Pod. You can also send us emails at the number 4 horsemanpod@gmail.com. We're still looking for you. I haven't gotten anybody new this week, no new followers, but I swear to God, it will be worth it to you to do that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Remember those koozies.
Yeah, I still got them. They're actually sitting over here beside my desk. So.
We still haven't even gotten ours.
Yeah, it's coming up. What, August 19th, right?
Oh man.
Oh, woo!
Yeah, our home draft is coming up, and we're all excited.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
All right, so later on in the show, we'll play the game. We're going to talk some player news. Before we get into player news, though, I do have a Romine random question of the night. Kind of stems to something we were talking about.
Hey, real quickly,
what?
Can you? I just want you to move your camera down. It's bugging the crap out of me. I'm just like, yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Is that better?
I was like, I'm just talking.
Like Wilson from.
And I'm
it's like Wilson from Home Improvement.
I'm hunched over. I had some Steak and Shake today. My stomach's not feeling so hot, so
oh my gosh,
I'm a little hunched over.
Oh my gosh, last night after Corner Pocket, I'm not kidding. All of a sudden, I just started not feeling very good. Like, it was really nauseous, and I was like, oh, and I curled up in the fetal position. And I fell asleep. I woke up in literally a pool of sweat. Like, there was so much sweat on my pillow. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever experienced. Like, I couldn't even flip the pillow over because it had wrapped itself around. It was grotesque. I don't know what was in those tacos, but man, there was something not quite right.
That's disgusting.
Have you ever had to wake up and you're like somebody's stabbing you in the intestines? You have to run to the bathroom to shit so bad.
Oh
wow!
I've not had that.
It's the worst. It's the worst.
Man, hopefully no kids are listening.
Make sure you check the box for explicit.
Anyway,
make sure your kids don't eat shit.
Can I ask my question now? Or are we done talking about
go
food?
for it. You're good. You're good.
So we were talking about the snake that there was a video floating around Facebook here around Brown County National Park. They saw a 7-foot timber rattler cross a path where some hikers were going. Kind of had some people scared. I want to know what animal that you could run into in the U.S. are you most afraid of running into? So you can't say like a tiger, a lion, or leopard.
Like, it has to be an animal.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean? What else?
Well, I mean, like I'm terrified of
clown?
I'm terrified of like spiders and shit. Like, they scare the fucking piss out of me.
So I consider a spider an animal. It's an insect, but I consider.
I mean,
animal.
honestly, almost any animal, like, I'm okay with seeing. I don't know. Spiders just freak me the crap out, man. They just come out of nowhere. Like, there was this one time that in my backyard, you know how, like, I've got that pergola back there, you know, and I'm spraying. I spray my house so that I don't want the bugs to get in my house. This is my territory. You guys stay outside. I'll leave you alone, but stay away from my area.
Sure.
And I see this spider had built this web from the picnic table up to the pergola. I'm like, wow, that's pretty impressive, but I'm sorry, buddy, you got to die. And it was small, like it wasn't too big. I spray the thing, it unfolds, and I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was enormous. Like I was terrified. Like it was definitely poisonous. I knew that there was something not right about this spider, and I looked it up, and it was called a brown widow, and it is poisonous. And I was pissed.
Is it like if a black widow and a brown recluse bang, it makes a brown widow?
I mean, basically, because it's much bigger. Like it was much bigger than a black widow. It was huge. Oh, brown recluses. Oh my gosh! Don't even get me started on those. Oh, whoa! I've never seen one of those, but knock on wood, I never do.
How about you, Van Cleef?
Bigfoot.
All right.
Bigfoot. Run across that screen, motherfucker.
So do you really believe in Bigfoot? Let's talk honestly here for a second. I know it's a funny answer, but you believe. I could see you being a Squatch believer.
I love to Squatch.
Old Squatch hunter.
What was that show? Finding Bigfoot?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Also a bear. Like, I mean, you think about like a bear, like you're pretty screwed. If a bear comes at you, like you have to just hope that either playing dead or punching it in the nose is going to do something, because that's pretty horrifying.
I would probably say, I mean, because like they're out there, and like I'm not like afraid of them, but like if you were like face to face when you shit your pants like a bear.
Oh my god,
an alligator.
Oh, an alligator, yeah, because they run really fast. Like both of them could catch you. Like you're not gonna outrun a bear or an alligator.
So thank you. So you go up to the water to get some water, and also an alligator pops out. And
was that like last year or the year before that little kid got taken into the water by an alligator down Disney World?
Yeah.
I'm scared to death of alligators. Like that does petrify me. Like if we go on family vacations, my kids are staying away from the water. Because I don't like sharks either. Like there's a lot of things that scare me. I'm scared of pretty much every animal.
So do you want to know what my fear is? My
mice,
chipmunks,
squirrels, fucking squirrels. No, what really, really scares me is in the middle of the ocean, just being in the middle of the ocean, knowing that like there's a deep abyss all around you, and there's creatures 10 times your size. Like that freaks me out. I love the ocean, and I love the animals in the ocean.
Nope.
But like if I was out in the middle of it, no. Like that scares me because I can't see anything. Because if I can see it, I can control my fear.
Exactly. Like if you can see like 500 feet away that there's a bear, like you can start making a plan. You can start. If all of a sudden you're treading water and there's a shark that's coming up, you can't do anything. Like,
or you don't even know what's coming.
God.
Exactly. It's like, what do? You're trying to stay afloat, so you're attracting it. If you stop, you sink, and then, like,
nope.
Oh no.
I'm kind of sad I brought this up. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yep.
All kinds of sharks right now. Let's talk some
shark.
I don't want to talk about shark. I do not like sharks at all. All right, so per Adam Schefter, Will Fuller has broken his collarbone today and during practice, out indefinitely.
Ouch.
Fantasy relevance, Van Cleef.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I think he because he started out hot his rookie year. I think he's a good viable number 2. He's got some speed and he kind of stretches that field. And I think really helps Hopkins out there. I think that he was going cheap, which I think he had great value. That's why I liked about him. It just I feel good about that offense. I really think Deshaun Watson is going to put some kind of spark in that offense, and so I really think Fuller has some type of value. Is he going to be a top 10 receiver? No, I'm not expecting that. But where you can draft him or get him in an auction, I think he has tremendous value. And so it kind of stings, that their number 2 option is not going to be there. So you have to look elsewhere, maybe.
Alex, go.
I will say that it's kind of good that it happened this early in training camp. because you're honestly looking probably only missing maybe the first 4 or 5 weeks, maybe even a little bit less, depending on how he heals. Because Dez had that. Was it Dez or was it Romo that had that?
Romo had
yeah. Well, anyway, I mean, so if it's an 8 to 10 week prognosis, then it should be okay. The other thing though that I'm a little concerned about is who do they put on the other side, because neither Jalen Strong or Braxton Miller are truly an outside guy, and so I think that my hope. Looking at this is that I hope they put Jalen Strong on the outside, because I'm not really thinking that he is a viable wide receiver anyway. And I'm really looking forward to what Braxton Miller could bring with Deshaun Watson and more, like in the slot. I want Braxton Miller in the slot. If he's not in the slot, I think there's going to be a lot of issues for Houston, because I think that you're taking – I think that Miller has more upside than Strong. And so if you put Miller on the outside and then Strong on the inside, I think it actually plays to the worst for each guy. And you are looking at only Hopkins as a viable option in the wide receiving game.
I agree with that, Alex. I think that Braxton Miller becomes intriguing in that offense, especially if he's in the slot. They had a lot of high praise for him. He actually had some highlights from last year that, that he could possibly be, or signs that he could possibly be a viable option. Jalen Strong is just, he's not reliable. I know they've been on Hard Knocks and stuff like that, and you can tell the coaches aren't really thrilled with him as much, and so he's in his 3rd year, so we'll see if he can do anything with that. But I wouldn't draft Jalen Strong. I'd maybe take a look at Braxton Miller now.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even do a flyer on Jalen Strong, maybe?
No. There's other receivers that I'd take flyers on, honestly.
He's honestly, and I mean, granted, he was a rookie. He's actually kind of had opportunities and not really done anything with them. So I think that's kind of my biggest problem. And I think that Miller, after a rookie year, kind of learning the offense, I think that Deshaun Watson and Miller could have a really nice connection. Maybe something kind of similar to maybe, getting him into a PPR kind of situation, like with Landry in Miami, a lot of underneath stuff. So we'll see. I think that it'll be interesting, at least. When Fuller gets back, I think Miller was always kind of planned to be the slot guy. I just hope they don't move him to the outside.
Right. Like move him out of position.
Yeah, I don't want him out of position, because, I mean, that's usually the kiss of death for guys like that.
Well, I was going to say, could you guys see them maybe bringing somebody else in? Like maybe a wide receiver that gets cut or doesn't make another team? Do you think it's gonna be too late?
No, I think it's gonna be too late. I think the only way that you get somebody like that is if you get somebody that is a veteran that played under a similar offense, something along those lines. I was just kind of looking it up. Vincent Jackson's still available. Not that he's a top flight guy, but maybe he could be something that has some veteran leadership.
Well,
that kind of fill.
I was thinking maybe like Anquan Bolden. Has he signed anywhere yet?
Maybe not.
I thought that's
possible.
Kind of an interesting name. Bring Andre Johnson back out of retirement.
God.
Well, to be honest, I mean, the guys that I could see, because how training camps, they go through their cuts just like any other team. They'll bring on another receiver, but is a receiver kind of worthwhile for fantasy? I don't think so.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless they blow up on the scene, but I wouldn't really. I'd wait till free agency for that. To be honest with you, I don't know. Nobody really intrigues me.
And again, we could be just talking about the first 4 weeks of the season here. We might not be talking about, we're not talking about even half the season, I don't believe. So I think that's one thing that we kind of have to look at. It's like, okay, granted, Fuller won't have the type of, chemistry maybe with Watson, but that doesn't mean that can't come, throughout the season. So I think that he's a guy that you still want to draft, and you can get a really good value on him. And if you can stash him, that's great. If he's in Dynasty, hopefully you haven't already paid him. Oops. The day before we paid all of our keepers, but I almost traded for him.
Yeah.
Last night, I almost traded for him.
Do you think if maybe it's the last pick of your round, like of the last round of your draft, would you guys take Will Fuller knowing maybe he was going to come back or not? Would you guys do that?
Me personally,
are you talking about a redraft?
Redraft or maybe even Dynasty. I mean, Dynasty, I think.
Well, Dynasty, I think he's got a lot of value. I think redraft is where.
Dynasty for sure. Redraft, no. Because if you're taking players that late in your draft, you're going to want to cut somebody. You know what I mean? There's going to be somebody that shows up and is hot off the scene that maybe you don't know about that you need to cut. So
that's true. And that is kind of one of the things is that if you have a shallow roster, if you maybe only have 15 spots or something along those lines, you don't want to have a guy like Fuller that you're going to drop him probably week one. There's always that guy that blows up. There's always that running back, that injury that happens, that something that turns the tables, and there's that hot running back or wide receiver that you just have to get. So you end up cutting him anyway. Right. So I think that I don't know. I kind of see where if you have the depth, stash him in a redraft, but more likely than not in a redraft, you're just not going to have that.
I think it's a complete waste in redraft. I'd be just trying to get as many lottery picks as I can on guys that I think might hit in week one, those late picks. I don't want really guys I have to stash on my bench. I want guys that I can try, try them out and see if they're going to hit. And if not, you're just going to cut them because you're going to have to make room on your roster somewhere.
Yep.
You have to be active on your waiver wire to win championships. You're going to have to get hit on some players that didn't get drafted. It happens every single year. No matter how good we get analyzing things, no matter how many fantasy football analysts are out there are going to be players that we're not talking about right now that are going to be wide receiver twos on your teams. So
yeah, I completely agree with you guys. That's what I was thinking, but I don't know.
Yeah. Do you think it affects DeAndre Hopkins' value at all? Either way,
I think it does a little bit because I feel that Will Fuller in that offense was a little bit better than Braxton Miller. Not to say Braxton Miller couldn't be, but I think in that offense of how things were rolling, I think Will Fuller is definitely the strong number two. So, and he stretched the field, which was nice for DeAndre.
He's a rare height and speed guy. And I think that – and you had the same – honestly, I think that him and Hopkins were a similar type wide receiver. And I think that was what was really kind of electrifying about those guys is that, man, you've got these fast, big wide receivers, and then you could get some guys – you could get Lamar Miller in the passing game. You can get Braxton Miller in the passing game. And those guys are stretching the field. You can't double-team both of them, because then you're going to leave the middle of the field wide open. So I thought that was a great dynamic. Once you take one of those guys away, it makes it a little easier to cover everybody else.
Yeah, and so especially if Braxton Miller's in the slot, he's not going to really be taken away from DeAndre Hopkins' coverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is Jalen Strong going to be a strong option too, where they're going to we got to worry about this guy? I don't know. I think Hopkins is still going to get his own, especially if Watkins can get in that system and get comfortable with him and getting the timing right. I think he's still going to have his own because before Will Fuller was there, DeAndre Hopkins was a top 5 wide receiver.
Yeah. Just because he had so many targets.
Yeah, but that could happen again. Now with Will Fuller, he's going to have so many more targets with that. Right. He's proven himself that even what quarterback. I know last year was an outlier, but that was Brock Osweiler. I think Julio Jones will look bad in that offense with a Brock Osweiler.
Sure,
but I don't know. I think it takes a down step for him. It may not be a huge downtick, but it does help, I guess, because with Will Fuller, it kind of took away the coverage and kind of helped.
Yeah, I don't really think it's going to affect his draft position. I was just kind of curious. You guys don't think it will, right? You don't think he won't fall?
No.
I don't think he'll go either direction. I think he'll probably stay right where he's at.
Because he's going late second, early third?
Yep.
Right now? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think he's going to be staying around there.
All right. Well, let's move to the next piece of news. CBS Sports reported that Andrew Luck could possibly miss the first 6 games of the season. Tell me how you feel about this, Alex.
Do
you think
I'm starting to wonder if this is what we're going to start expecting from Andrew Luck.
What do you mean?
Is he now going to be that guy that's always injured? You know, I think the fact is that, you know, and the hubris that Indianapolis has had for years is that they basically only have to spend money in one area. And it's biting them in the ass so hard right now because they have a franchise quarterback that is on his back half the time, and now his body is finally starting to break down just a few years in. And I think that a lot of this is now starting to look like this is his thing now. He's going to miss time. I don't know.
He might not miss time. We don't know that. I just like you take this.
If we are already talking about him possibly being on the PUP list, that's not good.
Yeah. So Stephen Holder, a guy that covers Colts and Indianapolis sports, said that Chris Ballard told him that Luck will be off the PUP list by the regular season. And Stephen Holder's a pretty honest guy, and he seems to hold pretty good stock in what Chris Ballard says. So I mean, there are guys saying on the other side of it too. I hadn't seen that report before CBS reported it. So,
well, I mean, I got an email about it yesterday.
So from who?
Somebody else. I'm not sure who the
actual source was.
No, it was. Well, keep talking about it. I'll pull it up here.
Well, I was just going to say he injured his
football guys.
Okay. So those are pretty good guys too.
No, sorry, but that is from CBS Sports though.
Okay, good.
So, okay.
I don't know. I just don't know how much I buy into it. But, Andrew Luck played injured last year. He injured it last year. He played with it. And then in January, he decided to get the surgery, which, probably later than he had originally planned. I don't really know what he was thinking, but maybe he was going to try to see how it healed, and then it wasn't healing up the way he wanted to, so he decided to have the surgery in January. I think that he did the right thing, and if they have to hold him out the first 6 games, I will be majorly dropping. I don't know. I want to drop T.Y. Hilton. Like, my initial gut reaction says drop him way down, but T.Y. Hilton's good, but you know what I mean?
Okay, so this is his 6th season, right?
Hilton's?
And no, I'm sorry, Andrew Luck's. He's going into his 6th season. And we've now had 2 straight seasons of injured Andrew Luck.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, he was basically – the fact is that those first 3 years, what did he do almost every game? Come back, throw his body around, do all this. Eventually it breaks down, and I think that that's what we're seeing. The fact that he can't get healthy is a problem. And the fact that they don't know how to build a team. They just don't. They know how to get a quarterback and then have that quarterback be really awesome. That's how they've been good for 20 years now. And there are cracks in the facade. I mean, there were cracks in the facade for a while, but I think that, because they truly are an Andrew Luck injury away from being one of the worst teams in football.
Van Cleef.
I mean, am I wrong?
I think CBS is fake news, honestly. Seriously, though, okay, he's been put on the PUP list, yes. I think they're just giving him time to rest and to just heal that injury fully, because I don't think they want him to do what he did last year, would play through it and just, or injure it worse. They haven't invested in any backup quarterbacks of value at all.
Have they ever? Have they ever?
Matt Hasselbeck.
Oh my God, are you serious? Like that's a quality backup.
When he came in, he was actually decent. Like
for the first couple games, then he completely tanked.
But he's a veteran quarterback that knew the offense, that knew defenses as well. Like he's something that you can learn from, I guess. But like now the backup they have now is a young guy that I don't trust him. He came in and played and it was just horrible last year. So I don't know. They haven't really invested in anybody that's like going to help win them games is what I'm getting at. Like,
I mean, okay, but my thing is, and I'm not coming at this as a as an indie hater, which I am, but the fact is that they don't make smart decisions. This isn't a smart franchise. This is a franchise that has basically put their entire win or lose on Peyton Manning. And now they're putting their entire thing on win or lose on Andrew Luck. And the fact is that whether or not he plays is whether or not they win or lose.
Well, I mean, they've got a new GM in there that they've got a new GM in there.
We will see. Yeah.
But he's made some offensive moves that's been favorable for, that I've enjoyed. I think Romine's enjoyed.
Yes,
they've helped bolster that defense, help bolster some of that offensive line. I think they know that they need to start protecting Andrew Luck better. I think they did a decent in the draft. They didn't draft a wide receiver in the first round, which I was happy about. They got rid of Greason, I think, who was just an anchor and just the worst GM I've ever seen. But honestly, it's just it doesn't necessarily scare me. Now, if they were trying quarterbacks out, that would be like, all right, well, there may be a little iffy right here because they don't really have anybody else to back them up. And I don't think they're going to just not do anything about it if they didn't feel comfortable with Luck coming back. Do you see what I'm getting at? I don't know. Besides, when one of his injuries, like you were saying, was a spleen. That's a freak accident.
Okay, right. I understand that. And
then the other one's been his shoulder. And it's just, obviously he's constantly throwing with that shoulder. So he's working through it. So he's just now trying to take care of it.
He's been one of the most hit quarterbacks in the NFL. Like his line has not been able to protect him at all. And I think that's the scariest thing about it.
And okay, if you know that, if the team themselves are self-aware enough to know that, they should have a backup quarterback that is actually worth something. This is the same team that only had one guy backing up Peyton Manning because they're like, oh, he'll never get hurt. And then he gets hurt, and they're the worst team in football.
Yeah, but that one guy was Jim Sorgi.
Oh, Sorgi.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, top notch.
And then they brought in Kerry Collins.
Curtis Bader.
It's been terrible. And Scott Tolzien, I think, right now is their official number one backup. Terrible. Do you think, not speaking really as an indie fan right now, with these talks, the chance is real that he could miss time? I know that I don't really believe it either, Van Cleef, but the chance is there. It's already been said, on a major sports network. Should the Colts at least maybe work out Colin Kaepernick? I know that
absolutely. I was like, even
offense though.
But think about what they could do with him. I don't know. I don't know why Colin Kaepernick's not signed. He's talented. He's not a top 10 quarterback, but he's got talent, a lot more talent than any of these other backup quarterbacks. I understand he's probably wanting to start. I understand he probably wants to be a starter, but I mean, I think I don't know.
I don't think he's that talented. I think he's kind of squandered it. This is a guy that had to sit out in training camp because his arm was tired. He legitimately had dead arm the first week of training camp. I mean, this is supposed to be a professional athlete that, is in top shape, and he can't get through training camp. I mean, dead arm comes from 100 games of not 100 games of pitching, but a season of pitching and stuff like that in Major League Baseball, where you're throwing a baseball 100 times every 5 days for.
I get dead arm playing one game of Wii bowling, so I completely understand.
But you're not a 6'4" super athletic quarterback that.
Okay. Whatever.
I mean, but honestly, when Colin Kaepernick came in, he had no less than he had a decent completion percentage. He threw
Well, they
for
didn't
decent
ask a lot of them, and I think that's the thing is that
I don't know. I mean, he threw for over 200 yards and multiple touchdowns in multiple games. I mean,
but he low 3,000s total. That's not. I mean, that's not a legitimate
He didn't play all the games though either.
Well, the year that after his big season, he played all the whole season. He was still in the low 3,000s. Like even a complete season, he was putting up those typical only good because I'm a running quarterback type numbers. Like he wasn't a passing quarterback. It's he was putting up Tyrod Taylor numbers with just better rushing stats.
I'm getting at he is a more talented than most backups in the league.
Okay, but he's an expensive backup. I think that's kind of the part of the problem.
I really don't know how much he's going to cost this year. That's what I'm kind of curious to see too. I don't know. Somebody's got to sign him. But let's move on to the last piece of news that I got. Corey Davis finally signed his rookie contract with the Tennessee Titans and got automatically slotted into the number 1 receiver spot.
Tajay.
See ya. Peace, Tajay. But he's ahead of Rashard Matthews, ahead of Eric Decker. Is there any relevance to where they placed him on the depth chart? You don't think so at all?
Well, I mean, that team never really have a number 1. Eric Decker's never been a number 1. He's been great as a number 2 guy.
Sure.
I think I think it was all expected, to be honest with you. I like to see that they automatically put him as a number 1 as being a rookie.
I don't know if it was really that expected.
What, really? He's the most talented wide receiver coming out of this draft.
Who would you put at number 1?
Rashard
I guess. Oh my God!
I mean, the guy that did it last year. Why not? Just for the start of training camp, you can obviously move him up in the first 2 weeks. Why not? I would
never put a perennial number 3 wide receiver as a number 1, even in training camp.
How's he perennial number 3?
Because he's not very good, Romain.
Okay. So it's no surprise. I mean, he was pretty decent last year.
I'm going to pull up stats and make you look like an idiot.
Okay, that's fine. He had 945 yards and 9 touchdowns last year. So
that's not 1,000 yards, buddy.
You're right. Sorry, it's not 1,000 yards. He's no conversation at all of being the number 1 there. I mean, until Corey Davis was brought in, he was the number 1. I'm on the other side. I think that Corey Davis is going to be awesome this year, but I think there is relevance to the fact that they listed him number 1 automatically right off the bat. I think that shows that they are going to use him in that role. And I could see him catching on a lot quicker than a lot of the other wide receivers, when they first come into the league, have to sit and see how it works. And
he does have the path of least resistance of many wide receivers in the last few years. Mm-hmm. He is literally walking into a situation where he is not just expected, but basically is the best wide receiver there. So, I mean, I agree that I think that his learning curve might be the smallest, and he does have a chance to be a really good wide receiver even this year. It's just I want to pump the brakes on where I'm drafting him, and I probably won't get him in many redraft leagues because I think he's going to be going a little too high for what a rookie wide receiver. Because let's remember, one of the issues with rookie wide receivers and why they end up missing some time is because they can't block. So that's going to be a very important thing too.
Yeah, and I haven't, obviously it's just now getting into training camp, so we're going to have to see how it plays out. But
can I just throw this out real quick? Okay, because this is where I talk about game in, game out kind of stuff. Rashard Matthews had week 11 he had 122 yards, week 15 105, and then week 17 114. Other than that, almost every single game was 30 yards or under, except for a couple of sprinkled. Like there was a 70 and there's an 80, but very mediocre. He was good with touchdowns. That's what saved his fantasy week to week. But I mean, especially the first like 4 or 5 weeks, he was.
I was going to say, I think it was kind of slow starting out.
Yeah, I mean, he just was a good red zone, red zone threat. Which to me, a good red zone threat is more of a number 3 kind of guy, like more of the slot receiver type of thing. So maybe with Corey Davis, he might actually be like, okay, do you see? Let's just be with this offense. Do you see a situation where there is multiple players with 1,000 yards in Tennessee?
No, I don't.
Not at all.
Multiple wide receivers.
I'm talking about 2 or more. I mean, I'm being reasonable, like 2. So could Corey Davis and Rashad Matthews, or Corey Davis and Delaney Walker, or Corey Davis and
not Delaney Walker.
And Jesus
That's
Christ.
for sure.
Oh my God. Get ready to eat that.
I really don't. I really don't think that I could see.
Winning.
I don't. You're not. But I don't see 2 wide receivers in that offense getting 1,000 yards. I see Delaney Walker as a 600 to 700 yard tight end that could score, 6 to
at least 800
touchdowns. Not at
least 800.
Eric Decker sitting at around the same kind of production. Like I see a bunch of wide receiver 3s, and then Corey Davis that I think could be elite. Like I could see Corey Davis being, like an AJ Green type player.
Yeah.
Somebody where he's got a bunch of other options around him, Tyler Eifert that catches touchdowns, but nobody that's a real star. I could see him being elite.
I could see, maybe, him Corey Davis being like around 1,000, maybe 1,100. And I could see like Eric Decker putting up 1,006 yards, something like just creeping over the bar. Like I could see that as a possibility, because I think that they're going to be, their offense is at tip top right now. They've got a great running game that's going to open up the passing game. And so if they can keep things going, I think that it's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to. I'm just saying that it's possible.
I agree with Alex. I think it with the upgrades they had made at offense, I think it's definitely possible that 2 receivers could be either Stanley Walker or Eric Decker and Corey Davis go over 1,000.
Get over the Delaney Walker talk. It's done. With Eric Decker in there, Delaney Walker is not going to be crap this year.
VC, because he's saying that he's going to go for like 1,200 yards.
You guys can thank me later.
And
I'm thanking you right now.
But they also love to run the ball. So that I don't know how. I mean, that's obviously going to open up the passing game, which is great. But are they going to run the ball so much? That they don't. So I don't know. But I could see it. I think
lots of mouths to feed, basically.
Yeah, yes, but they've made the improvement, especially on the offensive line. Tunsil was one of the top rated for rookie linemen last year. Yeah. So I really think they made improvements to really help that offense, and I really think it's going to be a dual threat offense. I think you never see Tennessee as being that high powered offense. You may see it this year.
Yeah,
it may be crazy to say, maybe call it a hot take, but the weapons they have, Tennessee could possibly be a high power offense that we talk about with what you see.
I don't think there's any doubt that they could be a high powered offense, but I think it's putting a lot of high expectations on a lot of players. Like I don't know. I see Corey Davis. Like what I really want to know though is where would you guys draft Corey Davis? Like where do you think he should go this year?
And like redraft or dynasty?
Redraft.
8th. I think
8th round.
Like, I mean, a rookie wide receiver. Like, I can't draft a rookie wide receiver higher than that.
Sure. Well, to me, and last week we had said what Martavis Bryant. What was it? 4th or 6th round?
4th round.
God.
I much rather have Corey Davis.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So if I have to draft him in 4th round to get Corey Davis, you're going to be waiting. I think you get Corey Davis in the 6th. I think. And so I'd rather take that over Martavis Bryant. So I think 6th.
It kind of depends on what's around there. Like I could see it. Like I was just thinking, like, what is the absolute highest I would go? And like depending on what is around there.
Roman, what's around there?
We're at
sixth round.
We're sixth round.
Okay.
Is Corey Davis going around the sixth round? I don't even know.
Well, on Fantasy Football Calculator, he's going in the 10th. The very beginning, the very first pick of the 10th round. So in the ninth.
I think that's a great value then.
And like,
that's awesome value.
I think it's going to be higher than that. Just on now that he's signed, I think on recollection, though. Dante Moncrief, Willie Snead, Jamison Crowder, Larry Fitzgerald, Stephon Diggs.
I like Larry Fitzgerald and Stephon Diggs, but I'd like to take a chance on Corey Davis over those other guys.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Golden Tate?
Corey Davis.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Julian Edelman?
Corey Davis.
I think I still lean Corey Davis.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Brandon Marshall?
Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Michael Crabtree?
Corey Davis.
You're getting up into the end of the 4th round now. So that's Martavis Bryant's the next name on there. Tyreek Hill. Would you rather have Tyreek Hill or Corey Davis?
Oh, I'd rather have Corey Davis.
407.
So 407 for Tyreek Hill. Oh my God, people are dumb.
Well,
I agree.
You gotta think though, Tyreek Hill is not a number 1 there.
Right. Well, what do you mean?
What do you mean? I mean, who else is it? I mean, you have Travis Kelce, who's a great tight end threat, but as far as number 1 receivers, there.
Oh, he is a number 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said that he wasn't. I was confused.
Oh no! I was just saying that's why he's going so high is because he's number 1 wide receiver. And now Corey Davis is a number 1 receiver, so I think he will go higher. Obviously, we haven't seen what Corey Davis is, but I guess I would take a risk on him because if he turns out, I think he'd get more value than Brandon Marshall or because Brandon Marshall. So there's so many mouths to feed for Brandon Marshall.
I mean, basically, you guys are saying he's a 4th or a 5th round pick,
But I don't want to. I mean, okay, wait. Not necessarily. Listen,
kind of.
Okay. What we're saying is that we would rather have him than those players. That's not necessarily saying yes, we would draft him in the 4th round. It's saying if I'm drafting in there, I'd probably go running back or I would go. So I don't like those players right there. I like Corey Davis more, so I would rather wait to get some of those players later on. So I mean, I think that's where.
So would you rather have Corey Davis or Doug Martin?
Doug Martin.
Alex. Come on, Alex. Come on.
I guess it depends on how many running backs you got before.
I don't know.
Doug Martin's going at the end of the 4th round. Dude's suspended. May lose his job. Coach just said that he's not afraid to have it be a timeshare. Corey Davis, easy. Just say it. Alex.
Yeah, Corey Davis.
Thank you. Would you rather have Corey Davis or Adrian Peterson?
Corey Davis.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Mike Gillislee?
Corey Davis. I don't want anything to do with.
You're basically taking Corey Davis in the 4th round. Is what you're telling me. So it's fine. I'm not upset about it. It's okay.
I don't know. That 4th round running back for.
Tough.
I mean, Gillislee.
Would you rather have Corey Davis or Carlos Hyde?
Probably Carlos Hyde.
Yeah, that's about where I draw the line too. 404 is what he's on here for. So
that's tough, but yeah.
I mean, the end of the 4th round, mid 4th round is where you start talking about players as being like, they're whatever. Like
this is the part of draft where you don't like to draft.
Exactly. Yeah, but rounds 4 through 6, you're like, honestly, I almost wish I could just get rid of all these players. Because I mean, it's just you end up taking players that are just filling spots, and then you start grabbing at the hopefuls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess I would take Corey Davis in the 4th round because I think that he's going to be good, so I won't take a flyer on him. I'd rather have him than I know what.
That's not really a flyer, though.
No, I guess not.
It's not at all a flyer.
No, sorry, that was the wrong wordage. I mean, I would just rather take a chance on Corey Davis.
See, but like every year I go back and I look at like my prior drafts, and there's players that I'm drafting in those fourth through sixth rounds. Mostly, I feel like I do pretty good with my first four, so it's more like the fifth through seventh round, and they're guys that you can completely miss on. Normally, you still there? Happened? Sorry, I cut out completely. I was gonna say,
you were fine. Yeah, I didn't.
I couldn't hear anything. It was weird. So, anyways, normally,
okay, sorry.
When I'm looking at my drafts, I'm happier when I've drafted like a Drew Brees in that spot or like a quarterback, looking and getting like something that is going to be a guaranteed player rather than somebody that may hit. I try to get all those lottery tickets a little bit later in it. So
maybe even a tight end. Okay,
sure.
Because you expect Gronk and probably Kelsey and Reed to probably be gone. I think by that time you can still get like a decent tight end there.
I just hate the fourth round. I really do.
Who do you consider a decent tight end around there? Because really, after those,
isn't there quite a bit of a drop? Like you drop to when Olsen is like between 6 and 8, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that, because it completely falls off. But your names on there, just the tight ends that you're talking about after Greg Olsen, it's Jimmy Graham, Eifert, Walker, who's a bum, Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, Jack Doyle. Like it's just kind of, I don't know. I would really probably be looking to take any of those guys.
Yeah,
but I don't know. You guys want to say anything else about Corey Davis, other than the fact that you're drafting him in the fourth round?
I mean, I'm a big fan. I really wanted him to go to the Eagles. I was really hoping that he was gonna depressed about it, but it's okay. It's okay.
You ready to take him with the third pick in the rookie draft?
No.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get into our game. We spent 45 minutes talking the news. So,
okay.
Who wants to lead it off? We're going to play Who Am I? You guys are going to give a few stats, and then we're going to guess the player. So, all Alex, if you want to go ahead and start us off, you do the first player.
Okay, here I go. Hi, I was 19th in completion. God, stop texting, you guys. My God, we're talking right here. I need to read this.
I'm having the hardest time focusing because I can't look at you. You got this smug look frozen on my screen.
Is this still frozen?
As it should.
Yeah,
as it should.
I'm minimized.
I think Roman, you're the issue because I haven't seen any freezing tonight.
Yeah, there's. Okay, so here,
start
are
over.
You guys ready? Okay.
Yes.
I was 19th in completion percentage last year, 25th in yards, and 24th in passing touchdowns. My 201 yards per game average put me in the same ranks as Case Keenum and Brock Osweiler. Who am I?
Roman, I'll let you answer this one.
Are you Tyrod Taylor?
I'm Tyrod Taylor, bitch. I suck.
I mean, those were terrible stats. Hopefully, your other ones are better than that.
Oh boy!
Do you want me to go next? Or you want him to go with his next one?
No, you go next, Van. Give us something good though. Don't do it.
Something good. Something good. Wow, I give you good shit. That Tyrod is basically Case Keenum and Brock Osweiler. I just compared him to that. That's good shit.
It was just the yards per game and touchdowns per game were comparable. That's it. So
you mean the most important stat line. Okay. Yep.
This past season, I led all receivers with 107 receptions. I was the top 10 in first down receptions. I also just made history with going over 1,000 yards this past season. Who am I?
You made history going over 1,000 yards?
Yeah, yes. I don't understand that
Larry Fitzgerald?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
God, I'm good at this game.
Oh boy,
I should get to play games more often.
That last one gave it to away. Roman.
All right.
That last one gave it away, didn't it?
I knew that Larry Fitzgerald was the leader in receptions last year.
All right. Ready?
I was thrown off by the 1,000-yard thing. It confused me. Yes, go ahead, Alex.
Well, so I looked up. Hold on. I looked up.
God damn it!
Sorry. Because he's coming up on he's had a Hall of Fame type of career, and so I was wanting to see like what kind of like numbers he had, and I thought I was like, well, how many 1,000-yard game like seasons has he had? And so I counted him up. He just had his 8th season, and like that's where they start like the counting it, because there's like multiple guys with the eight seasons, and it goes up to 9 and 10. I can see him going maybe for his 9th. I don't know, this year.
Oh, I mean, in that offense, there's not a whole lot other than David Johnson. Really, there's nothing like concrete. Like that's all kind of in flux there. All right, so I had the longest TD run of the season at 85 yards. Then I just blew. I was an average of 59.5 yards per game. I ranked 17th in that. I was 25th among RBs in catch percentage. Who am I?
You want me to answer mine?
Yeah, go for it.
Isaiah Crowell.
You are Isaiah Crowell. You suck.
I actually gave it away from the first one.
Yes.
Longest rushing touchdown. I didn't actually know that until I was looking up the stats for him. I'm like, I'll throw one good stat. I'll throw one.
He had the most breakaways this year versus all of the running backs. I think I found the stat on.
He broke
breakaways
away
like broken tackles, or
breakaway. Like let me look up the stat. Go on.
He would break a tackle and then take 2 steps and fall down.
I don't think that's how it worked, but Alex, go ahead and go with your next one.
All right.
What he's doing.
I was the 121st best receiver in the NFL receptions, behind the 3rd tight end in Philadelphia in Trey Burton. My catch percentage was 48.7%, which ranked me 187th, which is the California Penal Code for murder, which is what I could have done on December 14th, 2016, had I not fallen asleep at the wheel and had a blood alcohol level of 0.217. Who am I?
God, Michael Floyd, never leave me.
Nope, I'm garbage. That's what I am.
No.
All right, so, jeez, Rome, I'm sorry. You just got
yeah.
So basically, it was Pro Football Focus. They had breakaway percentage tells us that which running backs earned the highest percentage of their yards on a run that went for more than 15 yards. Crowell led the league with 47.5% of those 952 total rushing yards of runs, 15 plus, basically.
I don't necessarily understand that. So he had a bunch of long runs?
Yes.
Like I know that he had that 185. I'm just
he basically more runs over 15 yards. I guess that's what's getting at, like breakaway. So like when you break away, like when you break the tackles and you actually break away from and start running, he had the longest run, like the most. At that percentage, the highest percentage.
Was this Pro Football Focus, Pro Fantasy Focus?
Yeah. No, Pro Football Focus.
Pro Football Focus has some of the weirdest stats to prove their points that I've ever seen in my life.
They stat everything.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead. Is this your last one?
No, this is my second one.
Okay, go ahead.
This past season, I had over 1,400 all-purpose yards. I was ranked first in the NFL with 58 forced missed tackles. I also ranked second in yardage after contact with 900 yards. Who am I?
I should know this one.
Can you read it one more time? Sorry.
Yeah. I had over 1,400 all-purpose yards. I ranked first in the NFL with 58 forced missed tackles. I ranked second in yardage after contacts with 900 yards.
Is it Zeke?
No.
Nope.
Oh.
It's I can't remember. I want to say it's like Mark Ingram or somebody like that.
Nope. I'll give you guys one more tries.
Jamal Charles.
It's definitely not Jamal Charles.
Roman, one more stab.
God. I have no idea.
Just throw one out there.
Eddie Lacy.
No, Jay Ajayi. Interesting, right?
Yeah. I feel like we've talked about it before.
All right. You ready for my last one? Or Alex have another one?
Yep, I'm ready.
I had over 60% completion percentage within 20 yards of the end zone. I had over 69% completions within 10 yards of the end zone, with a combined of 32 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Who am I?
Last year,
Rodgers.
No.
Last
year. Sorry.
Drew Brees.
No.
Jameis Winston. No, it didn't.
No.
I don't got any more guesses.
No more guesses?
I don't know.
Romain?
I don't want to guess anymore.
Marcus Mariota.
Really? That's impressive. I didn't know he was that good.
Yeah.
Well, within that close. 31 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
32 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. That's combined both 20 yards and 10 yards within so he had 18 and 20 yards and 14 and 10 yards, but combined 32 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
I feel like that was a weird read of a stat, but I'll give it to you. You stumped us on it.
I think it was just a unique stat. I just found that because
I didn't know he was that good, that close to the end zone.
I was looking at red zone targets. I mean, look, just because he had inside the 20 he had.
Basically, what you're saying is Corey Davis is going to be a top 12 wide receiver this year?
Yes. It was funny because we were talking about that, but I didn't want to say anything because that was my stat or whatever. But I think Marcus Mariota is pretty lethal in the red zone. So I think Corey Davis is good with coming down with the ball. He's got good hands and stuff and takeaways.
Yeah, you know who else has good hands? Rashard Matthews. Catching those touchdowns.
He does have good touchdown stats. I will give that, but aside from those 3 games, the yardage is just more inflated. To me, he's more of like a Dante Moncrief. He's getting the touchdowns. He's just not getting the volume consistently, and that's the problem that I have with him.
Right, well, he's a better tight end than Delaney Walker.
Oh my gosh! Honestly, though, so here's what Sean Matthews has to go up against. He has to go up against Delaney Walker, Eric Decker, and Corey Davis. He has to compete for red zone targets.
So, how many touchdowns do you think Corey Davis is going to score?
8 to 10.
Okay.
I was going to say 5.
How many touchdowns do you think Rashard Matthews is going to score?
2.
Alex?
Gosh, well, I mean, I honestly would have had touchdown totals a lot lower until I heard those stats. If he has better weapons now, I think a lot of those touchdowns are going to go to running backs. So even in the passing game, and so I would say that you're probably looking at 5 to 6 for most of those guys. Delaney Walker 13.
You do love your guys, huh?
Well, at least my guys are actually good and can continue playing in the NFL and
listen.
And
it's
not drink our way out.
Listen,
drink our way out.
Would it be fun if we all liked the best players or good players? Sometimes it's fun to like bad players. We wouldn't be having this kind of laughter if I only liked fun players.
That's true, but the reason why you liked them was because you thought that they were good. Like that's the difference.
And,
like it's funny to like
how many
Paul
times
Richardson.
we have this
It's funny to like Paul Richardson because he's not really that good.
He's talented. Michael Floyd.
Everybody that plays in the NFL is talented. If you're going to bring it in that kind of perspective, I mean,
not everybody in the NFL is a second-round pick. Not everybody in the NFL has a good college pedigree.
Dorial Green Beckham as a second-round pick. Okay, so
exactly. Did you like Dorial Green Beckham at any time?
Fucking loved his ass.
It's a terrible example because you liked him.
I loved him.
You realize 1% of the college players play in the NFL, so it takes talent to play in the NFL. But he's not that
in
talented.
Comparison, like
to the other talents,
who's not that talented?
Paul Richardson.
Yes.
Okay. That's fine.
It's
it's
what
not
we're saying, Roman, is
Paul Richardson was going to set the world on fire. Like
you want him as a top 10 player.
Yes,
you had him as number 8 overall in your wide receiving ranks.
You said, guys, I would draft Paul Richardson pretty early.
I never said that.
Yes, he said.
He said off air, second round. That's my floor.
It's DeAndre Hopkins, Paul Richardson, Allen Robinson. Well, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this show up because you guys are pissing me off. Next week, I don't even know what we're going to talk about yet. It's going to be something awesome. We're going to be getting into division breakdowns here soon, but we'll have to talk to Brent, who has been MIA for this pretty much whole night. Anytime that we needed to talk to him about something related to the show,
anytime.
So, but
he had such cool stats he was going to give us,
but then found out that he was busy the entire week.
and we asked for those stats and nothing.
Yeah,
I call shenanigans. I don't think he had the stats.
I think you're absolutely right.
Well, whatever. Indeed. It's bullcrap, but hopefully he will be with us next week. But anyways, thanks for stopping out, listening to us. Follow us on Twitter, 4HorsemenPod. Send us emails, 4horsemenpod@gmail.com. And we will talk to you guys next week. Peace.